So what's up? It's Super Shaman. This is gonna be the first official episode. So I said a lot the last, the intro podcast episode. Today we're gonna break down Genesis, the origins of it. See, gene, ISIS. You got gene, right? Genetics. Then you got ISIS. So when you're talking about Genesis, a lot of them say the book of beginnings. Also, it's about the creation, right? We got to start off with the Bible only because that's the thing that got us in bondage as melanated beings. And other people as well, but this is how we're going to start out to break this spell. So Genesis. Let's go ahead. Now, this is a different type of version of Bible. So many of you had different ones and work with different ones. We're just going to work with what I got right here. And just so you know, the version that I'm working with is the NLT, the New Living Translation. Now, there's a lot of different translations. You know, you got King James, all these different things. We're going to get the links to these things, right? Gene ISIS. First thing that I want to say is that there's a thing called parthenogenesis where women were able to get impregnated by the sun. There were the first women were the women from Lemuria, which it has sunk close to the area of Atlantis. See, what Lemuria was, the Lemurians, or the area of Mu, where women were androgynous. What is androgynous? Androgynous is when women had both parts of the sexes, and they were able to impregnate themselves. How they impregnate themselves? By the sun. They could choose whether they want to have a period, because the period was only meant for when they wanted to have birth of a child, because birth and in the blood of the menstrual cycle has stem cells. Now, here we go. The linking of that thing is, if you go to the Inky and Ninersag or Ninti myths, it talks about the lady of a rib. Well, some people said a rib, some translations said rib, some translations said side. But if you think about an atom, the side of an atom is the electron. What does Eve mean? Electric. And also that is called fission. Gene therapy. Taking the side of an atom and splitting the atom to be able to use that to create another being. When they said that Adam, the womb man was created from man's rib, that is incorrect. But the scientific formula of the code is the splitting of an atom. The goddess of Ninti was the bone. What was the bone used for? The bone was used to create life, but the bone came from the woman in that myth. What are myths? Are oral stories told without document writing it beforehand. You had the elders, which some of them were actually had dyslexic, and so they had to memorize these things. Let's get into Genesis. Y'all know me. I go deep down through this thing. So, with Genesis, you got these different myths that link up to it. These different ancient texts before the Bible was made. Bible mean book, biblios. You got these different ones. Here we go. You got the Enuma Elish. You got the Epic of Gilgamesh. Then you have the Atrahasis epic. Then you have the Adapa myth. Then you have talking about cosmogony, cosmology, the book of Jasher, Eridu Genesis, the Sumerian Obi tablets, the Memphis theologies, the Memphite theology, Shabaka stones. Then you got the links to the coffin text. Then you have the links to the pyramid text. So, talking about Super, why are you saying all these different texts? Well, and where these came from? These came from The Ashurbanipal library. Who was that? He was a ruler in Babylon, a king in Babylon. Where is Babylon located? In the Tigris Euphrates, modern day Iraq. This is where the Garden of Eden was. These things were in Sumeria, where they say Kush, continent of Africa, but you had upper and you had lower. Kemet, upper, lower Kemet. And what is Kim? Kim is another word for dark, black, the melanin, right? So, we're reading Genesis, right? So, I got so many notes. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty. Darkness covered the deep waters, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. Then God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. Now, this goes to the account of the Enuma Elish when Tiamat, now who is Tiamat? Let's get to it. Tiamat was a water being, though talking about the waters. Tiamat was a woman that was a sea life being that co-created with the water being to be able to birth these elements, these people. These people were these extraterrestrial beings, right? These people were the extraterrestrial beings that needed to use a womb to create life because they tried to create them with what? Just the clay, or not even clay, but dirt, mud, to make their own subordinate deities. Subordinate means not the fullest form. So the waters in the woman, because I said women are the creators created first. The waters of a woman, water is linked to intuition. Water starts off with 0 molecules of space. So you can create anything. You take a cup of water, you put whatever in it, it can accumulate. It's another thing of chemistry. So the waters of a woman has the chemistry to create whatever in that intuition. So the waters represent the egg of birth. The eggs was formless. So Earth being a feminine planet, Tiamat was co-created with Amfu or Amsu. Right here. So, because we're linking this, right? We're linking this to the Enuma Elish Tablet 1 with Tiamat and Apsu, like I said. Now here, listen to this. When in the height heaven was not named, and the earth beneath did not yet bear a name. Think about it. So we going back. What's the connection? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep waters. Like I said, the deep waters. The deep waters is inside the womb of a woman where the baby is being created. It's created in the dark. And the primeval Apsu who begot them. Hold on, wait a minute. Now let's go to King James Version. Now, here we go. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. The deep. What is the deep? Like I said, the deep is the inside of the womb. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. The waters, like I said, the molecules that create. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw light, and it was good, and divided the light from the darkness. All right. So now we're going to Enuma Elish tablet. And primeval Epsu, who begot them. What does begot mean? So y'all don't think I'm making nothing up. Begot. To bring into existence, a process of reproduction. So, in the primeval Apsu who begot them, in chaos Tiamat, the mother of them both, their waters were mingled together, and no field was formed, no marsh was to be seen. The earth was formless, empty, darkness. Now, we're talking about the birth. What's cosmology? Cosmology is the study of creation, of how the space, how the heavens were created. What's heavens? So y'all don't think I'm making nothing up, because every time I say something, he just making it sound good. Heavens. The sky, especially perceived as a vault in which the sun, moon, and stars and planets are situated. That's another word for cosmos. Heaven is above. That's another word for cosmos. Cosmos, what's cosmos? Cosmos is the order of the solar system of everything in one, just like the universe, the word universe. But you got uni that mean one, and verse is a part. It's a section, just like a verse of a song is a part of a section. Let me see here. Because we breaking down Genesis. So the Enuma Elish, where was the Enuma Elish? Because you got all of this. When you talk about the Enuma Elish, you're talking about even the I seen up in these Bible handbooks and texts will tell you that it is way before. Enuma Elish. Enuma Elish. So, the Enuma Elish is an ancient Babylonian creation epic originating from Mesopotamia between 18th and 12th centuries BCE, found at the Ashurbanipal Library. Ashurbanipal was a king in Babylonia, Mesopotamia area, that had a library connecting all of these texts. So you're talking about, in Genesis 1, we're talking about the creations of the cosmos. So when we talking about it, let's get over here. Waters. Let's see. Let's go over here to 6. All right. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. Let's go to Enuma Elish. And no field was formed, no marsh was to be seen. When of the gods, none had been called into being. Wait a minute. The gods. Now, in the Hebrew Bible, somebody see up in the Bible, up in this version, it says God. But in the Hebrew Bible, they say Elohim. Elohim is plural for gods, because El means God. But really, when you're talking about the God, you're talking about the elements. What are the elements? Protons, electrons, and neutrons of a cell. The Trinity, the wholesomeness, the three. Unity. So far what we have with Genesis, right, is that with these links, Genesis 1, the creation of the cosmos. Genesis 2, Adam, Eden, breath of life. Genesis 3, the serpent, knowledge, exile. And then Genesis 4, Cain and Abel, These are the links to the first four that we did. For Genesis 1, the Enuma Elish, Tablet 1, Tiamat and Apsu. Egyptian coffin text, spell 714. Corpus Hermeticum 1, 6 through 9. That's the Hermetica. The Hesed theology. Number 2, Adam, Eden, breath of life. The links to the Egyptian Nun myth, the Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh, the Garden of Delum, and the Inanna and Adapa myths. Number 2. Here, number 3, the serpent knowledge exile, the Egyptian Wajid, Inanna descent myths, the Mesopotamian Atrahasis. Cain and Abel is linked to also the Enki and Enlil myths, but also linked to the Inanna myths, the Inanna and Dumuzi. The Ashurbanipal Library. The Ashurbanipal Library is where these were located. So we're starting out with this, but the main goal of Genesis was creation, the birth of the cosmos, the creation of people, the lineage, and the genealogy of the descendants. The genealogy of the descendants, they put these other different names of Jacob, Esau, and all those different things. But really, these were Mesopotamian rulers and gods. The names were flipped to meet the edit. The Bible and Babel by Frank, I don't know how to say his correct name, Dijenin. He outlined, based off the archaeological text of each handbook that I have read, that always came back to these Sumerian, Mesopotamian gods and goddesses and rulers and oracles. This is what we're starting out with Genesis. Super Shaman.